Hello everybody, I am Somukant Giri. Welcome to my channel. Today I will discuss how to study pharmacology for GPAT. Okay. See, there are several points. Okay. For pharmacology, you should have two important books. Okay. Number one is your KD Tripathi. Okay. Number two, any MCQ book for pharmacology. Okay. Any MCQ book for pharmacology, or you should have any MCQ books on general topics like Pearson publication or your Inamdar. Okay. Whatever may be, you should have any of one. Okay. Any of them. Then coming to the points. Okay. How you should study pharmacology. First, you have to study the pharmacology logically. Okay. First, understand the logic. Okay. What is the logic? See, maximum drug of your syllabus, okay, acts through one receptor, which is your GP shear, G protein couple receptor. Okay. Understand GP shear pharmacology very well. Okay. Then you also understand GABA gated chlorine channel. Okay. All these receptor pharmacology you have to know very well, because depending on this mechanism, okay, drug acts. Okay. So all the drugs acting CNS depression, acting as a CNS depression. Okay, like your general, like your sedative hypnotics, like all other, okay, anti CNS depressants acts through GABA gated chlorine channel. Okay, if you consider your drugs related to ANS, okay, they act through your GP shear. Okay, let's take an example like salbutamol. Salbutamol is a beta 2 agonist. Okay, you have to know what is the pharmacological action of salbutamol. Okay, how you should know? You know the GPCR pharmacology. See, salbutamol acts through beta 2 receptor. Okay, and what is the type of beta 2 receptor? It's a GS subtype of GPCR. I mean, basically this is a GPCR, G protein couple receptor and GS subtype. Okay, that means here is your effector molecule is your adenylyl cyclase. Okay, and after activating the adenylyl cyclase, CAMP is accumulated inside the cell, and CAMP actually does vasodilation. Okay, and that is why this salbutamol acts in bronchial asthma. Okay, actually used to dilate the bronchi. Okay, the smooth muscle of the bronchi, and salbutamol is often used in inhaler. Okay, to treat asthma. Okay, so this is the mechanism. Okay, if you understand the GPCR pharmacology, I mean the receptor pharmacology, then you will easily understand what is the function and what is the pharmacology, what should be the function and what should be the pharmacological action of your drug. Okay, this is one example. Okay, you should read whole pharmacology like this way, logically. Okay, coming to the next point. Okay, regarding you understand the logic. See, there is one drug, you have heard the name, I think, sildenafil. Okay, so what is the use of this drug? This drug is used in erectile dysfunction. Okay, and what is the mechanism, how it works? Okay, so see, there are three ways, okay, how vasodilation can occur in our body. Okay, so in case of vasodilation, three approaches are there. One is your production of CAMP through GS subtype of GPCR protein, GPCR receptor. Then another approach is organic nitrate, I mean production of nitric oxide. Okay, and organic nitrates acts through this mechanism. Okay, they produce NO, and this NO is going to vasodilate. Okay, and salbutamol acts on GS subtype of GPCR receptor, and they produce CAMP, and they do vasodilation. See, if you want to understand GPCR pharmacology very well, then I have uploaded a video in YouTube, okay, regarding GPCR pharmacology. You can watch there. Okay. The third approach for vasodilation is inhibition of the degradation of CAMP. I mean, there are several enzymes like 5-PDE, 5-phosphodiesterase enzyme, okay, which actually inhibit, I mean destroy the CMP. Okay, and after destruction, the CMP is no longer able to vasodilation. I mean, 5-phosphodiesterase enzyme inhibit the CMP, and so that is why CMP is not going to do vasodilate. So our approach should be inhibit the phosphodiesterase enzyme and intact the CMP. Okay, sildenafil is the drug. Sildenafil is the drug which vasodilates through this mechanism. I mean, the sildenafil inhibit phosphodiesterase enzyme and intact the structure of the CMP, and that is how it produces vasodilation. Okay, so you see, sildenafil and organic nitrates. Okay, organic nitrates. Okay, both do vasodilation. Okay, see, if you give these two at a time, then what will be your consequences? Okay, what will be your consequences? So the consequences will be fatal, and that is why organic nitrates and sildenafil both should not be used at a time. Why? Because they both produce your vasodilation. Okay, and remarkable vasodilation will be there. And that will be very harmful to us. Okay, that is the point. So you have to understand the logic behind the pharmacology. Okay, after that you should start your preparation. Regarding your pharmacology. Okay, so coming to the next point. After completing the syllabus, I mean the pharmacology syllabus, please go through a quick revision, okay, of the whole syllabus. Okay. Then, after quick revision, you have to consolidate the resources. This is very important. This is very important. Okay, how you have to do this? How you have to do this? You have to make. You have to make. How you have to do this? So I am coming. See, first you have to make table. Okay, several tables. You have to make several mind maps. You have to do several concept maps like this. Okay, and see how you have to make table. See, I am taking one example. First, your disease. One table will be there. You can make one table like disease and drug of choice. Okay, so in case of this section, so mild migraine. In case of mild migraine, this is the disease, and what should be your drug of choice? The drug of choice will be NSAIDs. Okay, generally paracetamol. Okay, but in case of severe migraine, what will be your drug of choice? Your drug of choice will be triptans. Okay, triptans. Okay, so after completing whole syllabus, you have to build a concept map. You have to build a table like disease versus drug of choice. Okay, disease versus drug of choice, and during whole preparation you have to follow this table, because this table will be very helpful, and one question you can get from here. Okay, then next table contraindication, drug interaction. Okay, see, I have discussed already that organic nitrates versus sildenafil, they should not be used. Okay, you have to make a concept map on drug interaction, and one example like this: organic nitrates should not be used with sildenafil. Okay, then coming to the next table, your drug poisoning versus antidote, specific antidote. Okay, here I am taking example of digitalis. All of you note that in case of digitalis poisoning, the specific antidote is one antibody which is known as digibind, So coming to the next table. Okay, so I am just giving you some examples. Okay, how you have to make concept map, or how you have to make tables. Okay, and all should be logically. Okay, so fourth table should be your drugs should not be used in pregnancy. Okay, then you can write here drug category. Okay, and drug. During pregnancy, among all NSAIDs, you only have to give to the patient PCM, means paracetamol. Okay, so this table already is in your KD3 party. Okay, you also follow this, follow that. Okay, no issue. Okay, so this is how you have to make all the concept maps and all the tables throughout your preparation, and after that these tables, these maps will give you a boost. Okay, and you will definitely get some benefit from these tables. Okay, similarly you can make table drug versus adverse drug reaction. Okay, so in this category I can give you one example. like vancomycin. Okay, all of you know that vancomycin is very much popular to produce red man syndrome. Okay, so this is the fact, and this is how you should make the tables and mind maps. Okay, then number 6. Okay, you can also make drug table, drug versus your mechanism. Okay, so penicillin, cell wall deficiency, vancomycin also produce cell wall deficiency. Okay, so this is how you can do all these things. Okay, so after building these concept maps and all the tables, okay, so you have to do two to three more things, like number 3, practice MCQs. Okay, practice MCQs. Okay, sufficient amount of MCQ you should practice daily or weekly. Okay, then give mock tests. Okay, give mock tests. Okay, weekly or monthly. Okay, but before your examination, you should give at least 10 to 15 mock tests. Okay, full fledged mock test. I mean, full syllabus mock test, 10 to 15 mock test you should give. Okay, after that, okay, after that, or simultaneously, along with all these things, you should practice previous year questions. Previous year questions. Okay, previous year questions from Inamdar. From Inamdar. Okay, from Inamdar you should practice previous year questions and learn the answers. Okay, learn the answers. Okay, so this is the end of our video. Hope you liked. Okay, hope you learned well, and please like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.